Y'all are ready to go this morning. Well, it's lunchtime. Thanks for all the hellos and welcome. Welcome back. Everyone is very talkative. Okay, good. All right, we're on week 4. Dietary lifestyle transformation. Glad to see you all back. I'm gonna mute everyone so we don't have that background noise. All right, throw in any questions you have in the chat box as we go. We're going to continue to optimize our diet, but I'm going to finish that out today, and I am going to move into fasting. I need to figure out why my presentation moves by itself. That's for next week. All right, so we're going to optimize a little bit more. We're going to start fasting protocols today. So I hope you're ready. Success check-in. Any good meals you're having this week? Let us know. Any success you're having? Are you seeing better stamina between your meals? Are you incorporating more healthy fats? Are you using the plating method? Are you being more mindful? Are you feeling better? Any feedback? Let us know. Just finished my first meal for today, and y'all put any meals in the chat box. I know you need ideas. You have the meal plan from the dietitian to use as well. At the bottom of it is a products list. I don't have very many on there because ideally I want you buying more whole foods, but if there are any particular products that you're looking for, let me know and I'll search it out and find the best option for you. One really hard one I just found the other day was ketchup. I'm not like super strict on my kids, but if I'm going to give them something, they're 3 in 1. If I'm going to give them something, I want it to be a decent option. And I'm that crazy person in the grocery store that stands in front of all the ketchup for like 15 minutes until I find the right one. But I found one with no added sugar and like very simple ingredients. So if you need something like that, let me know and I will add it to our products list. All right, just a meal idea to throw out there. I just had for lunch, super simple lunch. Throw together some spinach and arugula. It was like a little mix, and I threw blueberries, pecans, and sweet potatoes. I roasted sweet potatoes and put it on top. You can roast sweet potatoes on like Sunday night and throw them on top of salads. You can do like butternut squash I've done before. I've done onions, red onion, apple, and sweet potato together with a little sea salt and cinnamon and olive oil and roast it and put it on top of salad greens. It's amazing. And then the morning of, like I'll put olive oil and balsamic vinegar on top to like kind of soak the greens. And then I'll throw the other ingredients on top. And then I did like a full fat yogurt on the side with some cinnamon and apples. No, cinnamon and banana, but I've also added like peanut butter to full fat yogurt with cinnamon, and it's really good too. So just some healthy fats, good meal idea for you if you need something to get you going this week. All that was just like random stuff I had in my fridge or my pantry. That's kind of how I roll for lunch. All right, so with the optimizing diet. Sorry, I'm reading chat too. We've done the whole food plate. You have it. We've talked about mindful eating. We talked about that hunger scale. So staying in between like full and satisfied. We've talked about plating, sitting down with our plate, try not to graze while we're cooking or picking things off of other people's plates or eating in our cars or eating while we're watching TV or doing anything else.
This is Jasmine.
I'm going to mute everyone again. So just making sure we're being cognizant and mindful when we do eat. And then adding healthy fats. We talked about fat fasting last week in preparation for fasting. So you can use that a couple days leading up. You can use it a day leading up. You could use it a meal the night before. You can use fat fasting however you want to. If you're in a particularly stressful couple days, like I may have told y'all last week my kids were sick. This week my 3-year-old's just not sleeping through the night. So it's always going to be something. And if it's a day where I'm like, I'm just not going to be able to fast today, then I'll try to incorporate more healthy fats throughout the day just to help me prepare better for the next day. So you can use it however you want. And then our last thing on optimizing our diet is cutting the sugar out. So I've been teasing this out, but today is the day. I want you to really, really focus in on this one before you get into fasting. All right, awesome. Thanks for all the yay. Thanks for the lunch ideas. I'm going to read through this before we finish. All right, so let's cut the sugar. Why not? Better yet, why should we? What happens to your body when you stop eating refined sugar? We have clearer skin. We have an improved mood. We have improved blood sugar levels. We will experience weight loss, improved energy, better dental health, lowers our chronic disease risk, improves our gut health, and improves our sleep. So, lots of good reasons to cut sugar. We all should know by now that sugar gives us that high and that low. What goes up must come down. And so that's where the stabilization of our mood, but even like our emotional health can be improved by cutting the sugar out. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling moody, if you're all the things stressed, taking the sugar out is going to help that as well. You're not going to have so many highs and lows. Beyond helping with lowering our blood sugar levels and our A1C, it can also help with chronic disease such as obesity and heart disease and certain cancers, because cancer thrives off of sugar and grows in that way. So really good reasons beyond having an easier fast to cut our sugar out or keep it to a minimum. Okay. Y'all are going hard on the chat. It's distracting me, but I can't wait to read it. All right, I want to stay focused and then I'm going to read the chat. So tips for quitting sugar. We got to educate ourselves on what sugar is, because I'll show you on the next slide. There's a million gazillion different ways to put sugar on a nutrition label. Choosing whole foods is the easiest way, because you're going to find sugar in the middle aisles of the grocery store and all of our food packaging and all of our containers and all of our, what else? Bottles, everything that they serve, they create processed food in. They typically are adding sugar. Now, they know, when I say they, I'm talking about food processors. They know that sugar is addicting. So that's why it's very, very hard to find products without sugar, because they want you to be addicted to their product. And they found out that we don't want sugar in our products, so they decided to start disguising the names. So fun. So you have to be a really good detective to find sugar in the products. I'll go more into this though. Choosing whole foods, of course, is a great way to start cutting back on sugar. Reducing gradually, we've talked about. So if you're adding it to your coffee, cutting that down slowly. If you're a soda addict, cutting them down slowly. I know that you can experience headaches. It's like quitting anything that is addictive. You are going to have side effects. They're not going to last forever. And when you get on the other side of it, it's going to be so worth it. So if you can stay hydrated, if you can stay mindful in your eating, if you can move your body and burn the sugar out that way, awesome. And then prioritize your sleep, because the better you sleep, the better you are at making decisions. All right, let's educate a little bit on sugar. What is it? Are you going to memorize all these words?
Thanks so
Absolutely
much.
not.
Somebody finna bring around here.
I'm going to mute us all.
They
Yeah.
need to make an appointment. I can't make appointments.
Jasmine Bell, I think it's you coming off mute. All right, there we go. All right, so what is added sugar? There's added sugar and there's low calorie sweeteners, and then there's 0 calorie sweeteners. So, and then there's sugar alcohols. So there's a million different ways to put sugar into our foods. Added sugar is a little bit easier because this is going to show up on the added sugar line on a nutrition label, and I'll show you what that looks like before we go. But an added sugar is something that adds calories to the product. So if you were to add something like agave, cane sugar, that's just your normal sugar, corn syrup, if you were to add honey, if you were to add maple syrup, even these things that people will ask me, well, what about natural sugars? Yes, it's still sugar. It's still adding to the calorie line. It's still adding to your insulin rise and fall. So here's your added sugar list. And then your low calorie sweeteners or 0 calorie sweeteners, there's so many of these. A lot of times they end in AME, AIM, so like asulfame, aspartame, or they end in OSE, like allulose, sucralose, what else? Fructose. You'll see those. Um, if you see something that you don't recognize on a label, that's a sure sign that you probably shouldn't get it. But if you're going to, Google and see what that ingredient is that you don't know. And typically, you'll get a really quick answer on whether it's sugar or not. So, yeah, all this to say, sugar is sneaky. It's in our products in a million different ways. And we have to educate ourselves on what sugar is and what they're naming it in the ingredient list if we're going to buy the product. Where is the sugar? It's pretty much everywhere, but the majority of it is in our drinks. And one that they left off of this list is protein shakes. And people ask me about it all the time. If it tastes sweet, there is something in it that's sweetening it. Now you can always check the ingredient list to see what it is. You can always send it to me and I'll check the ingredient list for you. Sodas, fruit drinks, diet sodas, coffee, tea, alcohol. So cocktails, of course, are going to have sugar. Snacks and sweets, of course. Grains, breakfast cereals, almost impossible to find without sugar. Bread's almost impossible to find without sugar. And granola bars, same way. Same. Prepared dishes. So pre-prepared dishes, whether they're like starting to put them out at Kroger in the non-frozen aisle, but the frozen aisle too. Make sure you're looking at the list. And I'm going to show you an easy way to check for sugar on the nutrition label. And then dairy, yogurt, super, super tricky. They add a lot of sugar to our yogurt and got to be careful with yogurt. So I did put a yogurt on our product list that you could feel confident in using. And then condiments and dressings, super, super tricky as well. So like marinara sauce, ketchup, salad dressings, almost everything you got to check. Vegetables, fruits, and fruit juice. So typically you're not going to add sugar like where you see all the produce sitting out, but you will see it if they get it into a package and they can add something to it, then they will. So if you're buying frozen vegetables or canned fruit, make sure you turn the nutrition label over and check for sugar. This one should be really easy, like an easy one to start off with. If you're buying like frozen broccoli, all you want to see on the ingredient list is broccoli. If you're buying peaches in a can, all you want to see are peaches. So trying to just be cognizant of everywhere they're going to put sugar so that we're constantly addicted to it. Okay, let's go into fasting. Finally, all right, I have a couple protocols for you. This first one is the 16-8. This is the one I typically recommend starting off with. And it's where you are fasting for 16 hours and you are eating within an 8-hour window. So this is just an example of what that could look like if you were to start with skipping breakfast and then having lunch at noon and having dinner at 7 and finishing dinner by 8. So I'm giving you an hour to get dinner in so that you're once again fasting at 8 o'clock. So your window is 12 to 8, but you want to be finished eating by 8 o'clock. That doesn't mean start dinner at 8 o'clock. You can move this around any way you want. You can skip dinner if you want and have breakfast and lunch. It's kind of hard to skip lunch. You kind of have to have lunch. So you're either having breakfast and lunch or you're having lunch and dinner. Unless you're a night worker, then you might be able to pull off dinner and breakfast. All right, but either way, you're fasting for 16. You're eating within an 8-hour window. But within that 8-hour window, I still only want you to have the 2 meals, still no snacking in between. If you have to have 3 meals, fit them into the window and make it a meal. Don't make it a snack, okay? If that's the way you want to start, or you got to start, that's fine. You're still eating within an 8-hour window. If you want to get 3 meals in, preferably 2, and no snacking. All right, I have the second protocol that I want you to keep in your back pocket. Probably not ready for this one yet, but this is where you will experience the autophagy, that cellular turnover, where this is really, really good for our overall well-being, our immune system, our skin, for everything. And it's typically achieved within a 24-hour protocol, which means you are keeping 24 hours between one meal and the next. So this could look like eating lunch on Sunday and then eating lunch on Monday. So you're not going a whole day without a meal. You're going 24 hours between those meals. So lunch to lunch. Or you could do dinner to dinner. You want to do Sunday dinner to Monday dinner. You could do it that way. Or Sunday breakfast to Monday breakfast. You can do it that way. And then going back into a 16-8 after that. Okay. A good place to start, I'm going to save some time for questions. A good place to start is 3 times a week. So taking that 16-8, trying it out 3 days a week. Doesn't have to be a perfect Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It could be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It could be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It can be whatever you want. I want you to take 3 days to get going and try the 16-8 fast. Remember to fill up on fluids when you're fasting. So during the day, during the times that you are fasting, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You can use coffee and tea, they're appetite suppressants. You can also use broth, and you can add salt and pepper to the broth to increase the sodium and help balance electrolytes if you need it. If you don't want to do the broth, I never really did the broth. I did just a pinch of salt on my tongue to help with electrolytes, so you can do it that way too. You can add salt to your water if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's easier just to put it on your tongue or drink the broth. You can also do pickle juice, not the sugar kind, the dill pickle juice if you want. All right, here are 10 fasting tips for you. Fasting is a muscle, and it takes time to work it, to build it,
Tomorrow.
for it to become easier.
I'll be here Friday.
All right, we got someone else.
Friday morning. That sounds good.
Diane Titus, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, here we go. All right, about 2 weeks for it to start to feel normal and start to feel easy. The first 2 weeks are going to be hardish, and it really depends on how much you prepare. Are you preparing with healthy fats? Are you preparing by getting the sugar out? Are you preparing your body for the fast? All right, so first tip is fit it into your life and your schedule. I want it to work for you. So if you have like a breakfast meeting or a lunch meeting or a party on the weekend, try to work around that. Don't make that your fasting day. Prepare before the fast with a healthy meal. We've talked and talked and talked on this. Whole foods, healthy fats. Ride the hunger waves. So this is a good thing to know, is that hunger comes in waves and it peaks and then it starts to come down. So if you're feeling hungry and you're fast, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, grab some water, wait for the hunger wave to pass over you. Hunger does not continue to elevate, it eventually comes back down. So just keep that in mind. And if you can distract yourself by staying busy, that is the best thing you can do. Stay busy and drink fluids. Use those training wheels. For every cup of tea or coffee, try to drink a cup of water, because coffee and tea can dehydrate us. So we want to make sure we're staying hydrated. And then go ahead and prepare after the fast with a healthy meal. Make sure you have in mind, before you get into the fast, what you're going to break your fast with. Because you're probably going to be hungry by the time it's ready to eat. So make sure you're prepared for that meal, and it's a normal, healthy meal that you break your fast with. Give your body time to adjust. Again, about 2 weeks. Take notes. Notes can be really, really helpful in figuring out what works for you. If you're going into the fast and you're struggling, I want you to take notes on what you ate the day before. Was there sugar involved? Were there carbs involved? Did you get enough healthy fats the night before? Take notes. If your fast is easy, take notes. What did you do the day before to help you have an easy fast that day? Take notes afterwards. How do you feel after you eat that meal? Some meals are going to be better to break your fast with than others. So just keep that in mind too. Um, Everything may not settle the same way. Okay, so one particular example is, after a fast, I did like a banana and peanut butter to start off before I could like get my meal ready. And the peanut butter, or it was a handful of nuts, or I think it was a handful of nuts, just kind of, it tore my stomach up. So maybe easier to start off with like protein, veggies, fruit. Nuts are hard on the body, and also raw vegetables are hard on the body, on the digestive system. So just paying attention to those things, things that you're eating before the fast, things you're eating after the fast, and always be safe. Of course, stop fasting if you need to. No one's watching you, no one's grading you. You only know what you feel. So stop if you need to stop the fast, and try it again another time. All right, so our goals for this week are to continue the whole foods, continue being mindful with ourselves and our meals and our thoughts and everything that we do, add in the healthy fats, take out the sugar, and then start a fasting protocol. So preferably that 16-8, 3 days a week to start off. If you feel ready to do more, do more. It's totally up to you. We're all on our own journey. Okay, and then my last tip before I get to questions is the nutrition label. So really simple way to see if there's added sugar in our product is by turning the nutrition label over and seeing this added sugar line. They didn't used to have it. This was our old labels. They've just added it in recent years. So you should see added sugars now. This does not count for 0-calorie sweeteners, because they don't add to this big fat calorie line up here. So they won't put it on the nutrition label. So that's where the tricky part gets involved. But if it's honey, maple syrup, brown sugar, corn syrup, anything like that, it's going to be on the added sugar line. So that's your first check. And then if there's 0 grams added sugar, go down to the ingredients and double check there. All right, questions. Taking medications in the morning outside the window. Good question. So for medications, you can do something like a spoonful of full-fat yogurt with your medicine, or another recommendation by the folks that trained us. You can take, this is not something I've ever tried, but they recommended taking chia seeds, like a tablespoon of chia seeds, putting them in water, waiting for them to, they kind of expand, drinking that with your medicine in the morning. So I think the point here is just having a little bit of something so that you can take the medicine without having a full meal. Make sure it's something that is a healthy fat, so it's not going to bump your insulin too much. What was the yogurt it's okay to eat? Full fat yogurt is fine to eat. Full fat yogurt, no sugar. And I'll email y'all the product list or the meal plan list again. Monk fruit sweetener, okay? No. Have you heard of the Bobby approved app? You can scan the barcode and it will tell you if it's bad and why. Oh, I like that. Bobby approved app if you want to take it to the grocery store with you. Sweet potato, onion, carrots, olive oil, balsamic, rosemary, salt, pepper. Yum. Okay, I love rosemary. That sounds really good. I already had keto flu and had someone tell me my breath smelled like syrup. Yeah, so keto flu is definitely a thing, and you might have to brush your teeth more often. All right, Brussels sprouts, cut tossed. Yeah, you can roast just about anything, and it makes it so good. All right, happy birthday. Awesome. Any other questions? Natural peanut butter, no sugar. Good. I did add a peanut butter to the products list. Salmon or spring mix on. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, good. I like all the meal ideas. Can I use Piore? I'm not sure what that is. Gummy vitamins. I would take them with your meal because they typically have sugar in them. Low fat cottage cheese. If it's a sweetener, no. Low fat cottage cheese, go for full fat cottage cheese, full fat yogurt, full fat sour cream, full fat. It's gonna, full fat is going to lower your insulin response compared to low fat. And if it's a sweetener, no, we want to cut those out. All sweeteners. Anything else? Chandra, pin something for us. Okay. I'm going to email y'all the presentation in a PDF so that you have it. And then I'm also going to send you the meal plan once again in an email so you can have that. So any other questions, let me know. Email me or put it in the chat box for us. And good luck with your fast this week. Y'all reach out if you need anything and have a great day. Bye, everyone.